In today's video, I've got a bunch of different cases for the iPhone 16s. I've got the 16 Pro Max right here. And down below in the description, you're going to see all the different chapters to all the different cases. And just a quick disclosure, all of these were sent to me for free, but I'm not getting paid to review any of these, so I can give you my honest opinion. Now, first and foremost, I want to start with the case I was most eager to see, which is the Andar Aspen leather case. I was a frequent buyer of the Apple leather case. It was like a year-to-year thing for me, but ever since they discontinued them, Andar has become my next go-to option. Their leather is of quality. I've done a 6-month patina video on this specific camel tan color, so I'll link that down below so you can check it out for yourself. Now, as you would expect, the leather is great. The case's quality is great. You've got very clicky buttons. The action button is covered. The camera ring is more than sufficient enough. So whether you're putting this face down, whether you're going to put it with the camera side down, this is going to give your phone all around protection. At the same time, you've got access to your USB-C port, ample space for the speakers, so that's not going to be blocked or anything. And then the camera button. Now the camera button is where things kind of fall apart for me, because Andar went with a wide open design, which is great if you want full access to the camera button. You don't want anything in the way. So this is going to be a personal thing, whether you like it or you dislike it. I personally use the on-screen controls. I have not been able to even get used to the camera button. I think that it was totally unnecessary, but that's a different topic for a different day. But I just don't like the way it makes the case look overall. It's just like the whole case is nice and enclosed, and then you've got like a gash for the camera button, and it just doesn't look pleasing to me. I would have much rather preferred something like what the Caudabe Sheath did. This is enclosed, but they give you this like nice deep groove to where if you do want to use the camera button, it's still accessible. And at the same time, you get full like all around lip protection for your phone in case you do drop it. So I think Andar is working on a case that is going to have like a closed design to it, which would totally change my opinion, and this would immediately become my #1 because I really like this case. Now, since we brought up the Caudabe Sheath, this has to be, after the Andar case, this has to be my next favorite, simply because I have it on my 13 mini right here, and I've got the black one, and so they sent this out to me last year. I actually went out and bought the cases to do a review for like the 15 Pro Max, and then they reached out and they were nice enough to send me one for the 13 mini, and it's been on here ever since. I really love the texture. And, you know, I've asked a couple of friends, like I'll hand the case to them. I'm like, how does this feel to you? And I've noticed that it's either a hit or miss. Either you like the texture or you don't like it. But one thing I will say is that with the texture of this case, like over the course of time, just a couple of days, like when you get it out of the box, it's going to feel like really textury, if that's even a word. But that's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, the texture is going to feel like it's really there. But as soon as you use it for a couple of days, it kind of smooths out. So it's like there's a break-in period to the case. And once it smooths out, man, does this case feel great. What they have changed with this case is, of course, you've got that camera button design. You've got your inner microfiber lining, so it's going to protect it when you put your phone in here. But they've changed the buttons to metal buttons now. So on the previous generation, they were the same case as the material. So they had that texture design on the buttons, which I also had no problem with. But this just overall gives the case a much more premium feel and look. So if you've been a fan of the Caudabe cases in the past, especially the Sheath, this is going to be no different. This is a great case. Now, they also sent me the Caudabe Sysnthesis. Now, this is basically very much similar to the Caudabe Sheath, but this has a matte, smooth texture on the back. And on the sides, you get a nice grippy texture on both the left and right side. And it's perfect because it's right where your hands are going to sit when the case is on your phone. Again, with the buttons, they went with the metal design, so that's really nice. You've got a good, nice protective ring around the camera. Now, when I was in Morocco, I had the 16 Pro Max with me, and I was just testing it out, putting the camera through its paces and everything, and I actually dropped it. So you'll see 2 dings on the camera ring. And it was just from like, I'm 6'2" is my height, and imagine I'm holding it in my hand. It just drops, and it survived. So this one is the only case that I've actually dropped with the phone in it. The last Caudabe case I want to talk about is the Paragon case. Now this one, for some reason, is really hard to get on the phone. That is the only downside. This one's really not like my kind of case because they're very colorful. So this is like the Ember color. Then you've got this sea glass variant. So this is a nice teal blue. So if you're picking up the teal iPhone 16, that's perfect for it. And then I think in colors, this would be my favorite. This is the Moonstone. This has a white back and then gray sides. Now this case has a like really glossy, matte, hard surface on the back. It's really smooth. It's got great camera protection. Again, the camera button, nice and accessible, but it does have like a different grippy texture with these like grooves on the side, so you can get a little bit more grip. And again, you've got the metal buttons. So if you're looking for something from Caudabe that's a little bit more colorful, then this is going to be a great option. The reason I personally don't like this one is it doesn't have any lip at the front. So I have a glass screen protector on the phone, and the sides of the case sit flush with the screen. So if you are someone, I know there's a lot of people that want to be like swiping and they don't want their fingers to be rubbing against the edge of the case. If you're one of those people, then this is going to be perfect for you because it sits very flush, especially if you put a screen protector on it, your fingers are going to glide from side to side very easily. Next up are going to be Pitaka's cases. Now this is always a case that I'm like, you know what, if you're just looking to add some flair to your phone, you don't want to really add any weight, you want to retain like the feel of the phone, this is the case you go for because it's really slim, it's got great magnets, but they do tend to expose more of the body of your phone. So it's great for like everyday protection from like tabletops and, you know, putting your phone here and there. But this isn't the case I would recommend if you are prone to dropping your phone. Now, speaking of closing things up and having more all-around protection, they have actually changed the design a bit. So at the bottom, instead of it being like fully open, now it's got more coverage. Same thing for the top portion, although at the very top, like the lip isn't as protruding, which is kind of weird that they chose to do that, but that's probably due to like the intricate design of just using aramid fibers. But all around, it does have better protection. And the cool thing is that they've got a huge variety of designs. So it wasn't always this way. They've actually just been adding a bunch of designs by partnering up with different designers. Like this one's a black one and it says no problemo. Then you've got this design here. So a bunch of options to choose from. So I'm pretty sure if you're going to be buying this particular case, you're going to find something that resonates with the kind of vibe you're going for. Now, lastly, I want to share which one I personally would choose. And out of all of these, if I had to pick a winner, it would definitely be the Caudabe Sheath that's on my 13 mini, which I can't wait to get back to once I'm done with the 16 Pro Max review. But this case just feels great all around. And now the fact that they've added the metal buttons to it, it just gives it a much better like premium look and feel to it. And the fact that it's been on my phone for a year and I've enjoyed using it and it's held up, it's survived those rare drops. So if I had to pick a winner, Caudabe Sheath hands down, and the runner-up would be one of the Pitaka cases. Again, simply because I'm not prone to dropping my phone, and even when I have with the Pitaka cases, they've survived. So maybe that was just by chance, but they've done a good job. I just like their designs. They look really good. So when I need like a change, I switch over to the Pitaka case, but Caudabe Sheath, hands down, is the one for me. All right, I really hope that this video helps you in just looking at a few different options and seeing if one of these will work for you. If you have any questions, talk to me down below in the comments and I'll be happy to help. All these cases are linked down below. I will get commission if you do buy using my links, which really helps me out. So thank you for that if you do use them. Other than that, take care of yourself. And like always, I will see you in the next video.